GM and Ford also announcing they will be temporarily halting production at two Michigan plants due to parts shortages. Ford blaming the semiconductor shortage. GM says it's not related to those chips, but didn't give any other details. But in addition to the supply chain issues, of course, the other mounting challenges do include worker shortages. And then the fact that a lot of people want a new car, but they just can't get them. Of course, a lot of people are looking for the right color, the right features, even if it's used, and they're so much more expensive. Let's bring in Mike Wall, auto analyst at S&P Global Mobility in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Mike, good morning to you. Is there any hope that the auto industry can catch a break sometime soon?
Boy, it's feeling tough right now, to be sure. I mean, there's always hope. The great news in all this is we do have a consumer base that is still very engaged in the auto industry and wanting to buy a vehicle. But as the lead in the story it touched on, we're battling multiple fronts. We've got semiconductor shortages, we've got labor availability, raw material price increases that are kind of never ending right now. So the auto industry is navigating some pretty treacherous waters right now.
Is this going to change? I mean, I think about how long this chip shortage has been going on, just that part of this alone. Is this going to revolutionize the landscape of the auto industry for years to come?
It's a great question. I think we're seeing it happen as we speak in terms of automakers really looking at their supply chains with a much finer detail. What do I mean by that? Bringing more supply chains increasingly local, onshoring wherever possible. It doesn't mean we get rid of globalization completely, but we need to be cognizant of not just where our direct suppliers are, but where their suppliers and the following suppliers are as well. And I think that's brought a much more direct light on that conversation.
When you talk about what can be done to buoy, lift the auto industry, we think about how many breaks the federal government has given to the transportation industry. When you think about flights, for example, is there anything on the horizon for the auto industry?
I think right now what we're seeing is certainly a focus by the federal government and even local governments on bringing more investment into the U.S. and certainly the automotive industry is front and center with that. So I think anything we can do to help encourage that and foster that kind of investment, I think is going to be positive. And I think that's something that's been ongoing, but I think we're going to see that intensify here in the very near term.
One more quick question. I've asked so many people, car dealers, auto experts. Now I'm going to ask you, if somebody is in the market for a new car, is there anything in the way of incentives or tax breaks or just, give me the new car, but I won't have a touch screen? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a hot topic right now. Be flexible is the first thing I would say. So again, widen your range somewhat, be flexible, and maybe going the extra mile literally to pick up that vehicle, maybe even out of state. In some cases, incentives are hard to come by in terms of vehicle incentives. If you're looking at a new energy vehicle, like an electric vehicle, there's federal, state, and even local incentives in some cases to help spur that actual vehicle sale. But again, trying to get the vehicle is the biggest challenge right now.
All right, Mike, thank you for making time. And I guess we'll all just have to get used to really expensive cars for the foreseeable future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.